You can't even walk around here without, like, people coming up to you, bullying you, killing you.
Hello everyone, welcome to The Conservative Poet with me, Amania. Today we're going to be talking about some really bad news, bad situation in the swamp in Washington, D.C. This time we're not really focused on the politicians, so to speak, but in actuality, it is the politicians because they make these laws. And so Washington, D.C. is governed by these laws. And so therefore, the problems in D.C. is really the government's fault, I would have to say, because of their laws on the books. So we're going to see a couple of different clips today. And I really want to focus on one in particular, and that is a clip that you're going to see with some children in the DC area who are talking about their experiences and how they're afraid of all of the crime, the violence that's going on there. And they talk about, the shootings and constantly being afraid and constantly having to be on guard wherever they are, afraid of being stabbed, afraid of being shot at, afraid of being killed. And one of them said, Black lives matter, but does Black lives really matter when you're killing your own and when you're killing people? And so I want to talk about that. And so without further ado, let's get into that particular clip.
Really a problem that is very real to children who just want a safe home. I-Team investigator Scott Taylor is listening to a group of kids who are speaking out tonight. Scott?
Yeah, these numbers are really scary. 7 News is asking a big safety question to kids in the heart of the district. What do they think about the rising violence happening right outside their front door?
You can't even walk around here without, like, people coming up to you, bullying you, killing you.
These kids, all under the age of 15, are part of the community-based group Saving Our Youth in D.C.'s 6th District. 3 young minds, with permission from their parents, talking to 7 News about the violence in their neighborhood.
I hear like gunshots though, but my friends be telling me that they be like coming up to me telling me some, it's a shootout around 34. So we're going to have to wait until we go home.
One wants to be a WWE star when they grow up, another professional soccer player, and a third wants to be a fashion icon.
I mean, I pay attention around wherever I go because, it's not just violence and stuff going on around here. It's everywhere.
Their homes in the heart of one of the most dangerous neighborhoods in the city.
I don't feel safe because they just walk up to you, shoot you, try to stab you.
This year, there have been 67 juvenile gunshot victims so far in Washington, D.C. 12 of those have died.
You can't say Black Lives Matter, but then you killing the next black. That don't make sense.
In the 6th District, your head is on a swivel.
Every second you gotta check your back, like, you don't know what is what, and some kids can be walking down the street and minding their business, and they be like, oh, I think that's such and such kid. Ooh, let me shoot at them, bow, bow, and then they land down on the floor crying.
The 6th District leads the city this year in the total number of violent crimes. It's second only to the 7th District in homicides and assaults with a dangerous weapon. Why are you in the house all the time?
It's more peaceful in the house. You don't got to worry about no violence or altercations and stuff like that when you're out.
These 3 see the violence unfold on the street and wonder why adults can't figure out a better way to keep kids safe.
Yeah, I just tell them, like, stop it and stuff like there's no reason to do it. Because people have family that they love and stuff. It's always programs and stuff for kids, like recreation centers, but I also feel like there could be more.
Police officers should be like circling the block and all that to make sure these kids are safe.
We asked new D.C. Police Chief Pamela Smith about 10-year-old Taylor Weaver's idea about adding more police patrolling the 6th District. A terrific question. The chief tells me MPD has been focusing on enhancing patrols in the city most impacted by crime. It's working on creating safer neighborhoods by targeting the...
Before we continue with the video, here is a brief word from the sponsor of our video. Save America, save our values, save our traditions. Stop using woke platforms to spend your money. Stop. This episode of The Conservative Poet is brought to you by Mammoth Nation. Mammoth Nation is a conservative marketplace where you, the patriot, can go and purchase the items that you need. Mammoth Nation is an online subscription-based platform. So you have to be subscribed in order to get all the wonderful discounts. You can get up to 70% discounts on so many of the stores. They have phone services, services for food, traveling, hotel. They refuse to let anti-American companies join their platforms. The vendors have been carefully vetted and have been approved of conservative American values, which is one of the reasons we have partnered, because I do love what they offer. I love that they are offering opportunities to American vendors and American creators as well. So we are trying to put America first here. And that's one of the things we do on this channel. And so I support Mammoth Nation and what they do to put conservative American businesses first. So visit Mammoth Nation today so you can get the discounts that you deserve with American-made products. So use code AmaniaS, that's AMANIAS. Again, that's AmaniaS for your discounts today on these amazing opportunities. It's unbelievably sad that this is what we're seeing, and it is not just in DC, Baltimore, Chicago, New York. It's liberal cities. That is the key thing. Liberal cities with woke mayors and woke district attorneys, woke policymakers who do not care about the people or what happens to the city. And this is what we're facing. Cities are crumbling around us. San Francisco. I mean, everywhere you turn, America is literally crumbling because of these policies. Democrat liberals in charge of these areas. And they need to go. And they need to go now. These children offered great solutions, and they actually offered some great common sense conversation. And the great common sense conversation is the young girl who said it. They showed the Black Lives Matter sign, and she said it. How can Black Lives matter if Black people are constantly killing each other? Now, I'm going to take it a step further because what she said made sense there. But as we know, Black lives don't really matter to these people. It doesn't matter to them. Your Black life don't matter. The only time they say it matters is when the life of a Black person is taken by the hands of a white policeman. That's the only time Black lives matter. That's the only time that there are blood in the streets. That's the only time that they are out here protesting or rioting, as it were. 5 shootings in 5 hours is the next clip that we're going to see. That talks a little bit about it. How Washington, D.C., in the swamp, which is about 45% Blacks, mind you, and poverty stricken. I remember when I went to DC for the very first time, This was Obama's first inauguration, my first time stepping foot in DC. And we were driving to the Capitol, and I saw board up buildings. And I thought, well, wow, how is it that the capital of the United States, the free nation of the United States, the powerhouse that is the United States, how is it that they have vacant, board up homes just blocks away from the White House? That has stayed with me. Now I know why it's like that, but I didn't understand that. Like just like Gavin Newsom cleaning up for Xi Jinping to come for his visit, you know, I don't know if they would take different routes to get, people like Xi Jinping or other powerful leaders to the White House when they got to drive the same place I drove, and I'm seeing poverty, drugs, crime, board ups right there on the road. That never left me. And I never understood, how can there be that? How can the Washington, D.C., blocks away from the White House, have this problem? And the solution comes out of the mouth of one of the babes. And they said, we need more police to patrol, to drive around, to be around in the neighborhood, to watch what's going on. More police. Who would have thought? More police, and of course, making arrests. But these days, these people are so emboldened that even having the police around doesn't frighten them, because they do whatever it is that they want, whether it's robbing somebody, shooting somebody, um, going into a store and robbing that store, carjacking. They just seem to be emboldened because they know that there's really no consequence to their actions. This is no way for children to grow up. You can't even go play outside. You can't even go hang out with your friends without, something bad happening, shootings, and so on. One of the children said that it's easier and better to just stay in the house. What kind of life is that? It's easier to just stay in the house because if you're in the house, then you won't be hurt. Well, I hate to tell you, honey, that actually those a lot of stray bullets goes right into the windows of the people at home. So it doesn't matter if you're in the house or if you're on the street or if you're in your car. It's because you're in that environment. And this is what goes on in the environment. Babies getting shot in their cribs. People getting shot while they're asleep because of bullets coming in through the windows. It's a real problem in these Democrat-run cities. It's the saddest thing, but none of them take responsibility for what is going on. They blame the white man, but it's not the white man that's running these cities. It's these liberal cities. That's where these problems are. They're not in red cities. They're in blue, Democrat, liberal run, progressive run, woke DA run cities. These children, I'm afraid that maybe their life might be in danger right now for them coming out here and speaking against this. Because one of the children said that, you're out there on the street and they see you, they shoot you for no reason. They just gave these people a reason to shoot them. And it is the sad, honest truth. They just gave people a reason to shoot them because they came out here and talked about it on the news. Where are we going in this society? Where are we going? We're going nowhere fast. And this is why we need to change leadership in these liberal cities. We need new leadership. And I'm really, again, very excited to see how 2024 elections will go, to see if these people continue to vote in Democrat lawmakers, Democrat or non-lawmaker, Democrat, liberal representatives to represent them. Look at what's happening in DC. This is what they voted for. The parents voted for this. And another point they made in the video is that the children are asking, why can't the adults just fix this? Why can't the adults just fix this? It starts by implementing rules in the household, monitoring these kids, and perhaps the law should be that the parents may be the ones who should be fined as a solution to all of this, because you need to control your household. You need to control your children, because it's people's children that's out here committing these horrific crimes. If the parents started being the person who was responsible, perhaps things would change. Maybe they would put the iron fist down on their brat pack scholars, right? Perhaps that if the parents took more control, we wouldn't be having this problem. And another thing I would add to that is if the parents can't control them and they're not fining the parents, the only solution I would assume is to lock them up. You lock them up, 12, 13, 10. You lock them up, you throw away the key, and perhaps then some of these people will think twice about committing violent crimes, especially children. In conclusion to this video, this is what you voted for. In the next election, maybe you should think about voting differently. Thank you so much for taking the time, for watching, sharing, and subscribing to the channel. I will see you in another video.